Hello, scientist. Today we are going to be learning about the plant life cycle. Today I will learn how a seed changes and grows into a plant so that I can understand the life cycle of a plant. I will know I've got it when I can explain the stages of the plant life cycle. So this morning, I want you to take a look at this picture. I'm going to disappear for just a minute. When you look at this picture, what do you think is happening? What do you observe? So take a look at that picture, and what are you noticing? What are you observing? So when I look at the picture, I see some type of bean, like a seed, and then I see that it's in the soil, and it looks like the soil is a healthy soil. It doesn't look too dry, doesn't look too wet. Looks like it's a nice color. Then I see the seed. I see the seed changing. I see the seed developing roots. And then in the next picture, I see the seed having the roots and then having a stem come up, some leaves. I see that the stem is getting longer and there's more leaves. It looks like the roots are getting longer. And even looks like maybe there's less of the seed. And then now I don't even see the seed anymore. I see lots of roots. They look much longer than the other roots. And I see the stem growing with more leaves. So I see a change. I see a seed, a bean seed in the beginning. And over here, I see a nice, healthy looking plant. Those are the things that I observe. I see a change. So today we are going to learn about the plant life cycle. And we're going to learn how does a seed grow and change into an adult plant. So as we watch our Brain Pop video, I want you to be thinking, how does a seed grow and change into an adult plant? Now below my teaching video, I'll have the link for you, but you're going to go to Brain Pop Junior. On Brain Pop Junior, it's coming up. You're going to be in the area of science, of course. Once you click science, then you can either say all science movies, or you can also click plants because we're learning about plants right now. And we're going to go to the plant life cycle.
Plant life cycle.
So you'll just click that and you'll get started on watching your video about the plant life cycle. Remember, as you watch, think about, how does a seed become a plant? So after the video, come back to me. Okay, so now that we've watched the video, let's do a little reviewing. So what is a life cycle? A life cycle is how a living thing, now living thing could mean animal or plant, a living thing grows and changes. That's what a life cycle is. It's growing, it's changing, a living thing. So I want to share with you how a bean grows from a seed to a plant. So we saw it in the picture in the beginning, but I'm going to show you how this happens kind of in a time span, and we'll see what happens to the bean. We're going to go to a new site today. This is a site that I love. It's called DK Find Out. And it's a site that has lots of DK Find Out book material on it in case you want to go there sometime. It's just dkfindout.com. Lots of good reading there. This is how a bean grows. I'm just going to move myself down for a few minutes so that you can see the whole screen. And we'll watch it together.
How a bean grows. This video shows how a runner bean grows from seed. It takes about 6 weeks for the seed to develop and grow into a plant.
Takes about 6 weeks. You can see
the seed, protected by its seed case, can remain dormant, inactive, for months or even years. Given dark, damp surroundings and the right temperature, the seed will start to sprout. This process is called germination.
Germination.
The seed swells as it absorbs water until its case splits open. The roots start to grow. Shortly after this, a shoot bent double appears. As the shoot grows, it breaks above ground. The shoot straightens up towards the light. The leaves are folded downwards at first to protect them, but turn upwards when they are free of the soil. The root system develops further.
So the roots are getting
The
longer.
leaves open to face the sun. They start to produce their own food through a process called photosynthesis. The roots absorb water and minerals from the soil and anchor the plant to the ground. The runner bean plant now grows quickly and new leaves form. Because the seed case is no longer needed, it starts to shrivel and rot away.
So we got to see how that bean grows. It started as a single seed, then we saw how it broke open, then we saw the leaves forming and reaching for light. It began to grow and feed on the nutrients, the roots got longer, and then we had our plant. And if you're interested in finding out more, go to DK Find Out. Now let's take a look at some things that are going on in my yard and my neighbor's yard. So this is called a maple seed. Sometimes people call them helicopter seeds. And if you have a maple tree in your yard, you will see that seed just kind of spiral down out of the tree and fall on the ground. And so this tree is a maple tree right here. And this is in my neighbor's yard. But this is my yard. This is part of my landscaping. We found this little tree, little seedling starting to grow. And I actually don't want it in my landscaping. And so I pulled it up out of my landscaping. And I want to show you. I'm going to bring it over closer to the camera. Now I do have it on. Whoops. Let me bring myself up a little bit so you guys can see me better. Let me put myself right up here at the top of the tree. So I brought this little seedling tree out of my landscaping because, I really don't want it there. I'd like to plant it somewhere else. So you can see that the roots, and I'm trying not to get dirt on my laptop, but you can see that the roots are getting pretty long already. And then you can see the tops of the leaves and how that has come up out of the ground, the stem. Remember, in a tree, a stem is the tree trunk. And so this is exactly what you see right here, a little seedling. So this must have, with the help of wind, moved to my landscaping from her tree, my neighbor's tree. And so we already know that seeds disperse, they move, because if a tree tried to grow underneath this one, it's not going to survive very well. But right now it's surviving very nicely in my landscaping. And so that seed has blown over to my yard, into my landscaping, and has started to grow here. Now, over time, many years, it will look like my neighbor's tree, and this is called a maple tree. Now, I also want to share with you a tree that's in my yard. So this is in my yard right here. This is what we call an oak tree. So I went out to the yard and I pulled this off the tree, and you might see hanging out right there is an acorn. I got one too, a little bit closer. So this is what we call an acorn, and an acorn is a seed also. So in the next month or so, my big tree here will start to drop these acorns. This one had already fallen off. This one I also found in the yard, or in the driveway, it's kind of more dried up. But the seeds will start falling off of my tree. They will land here on the ground, and guess what will happen? Most of the time, a squirrel shows up down here in the bottom area of my tree. Sometimes squirrels actually go up this tree, but the squirrel will start picking up these acorns. and will start carrying them away to wherever the squirrel takes them. Sometimes they'll store them for the winter, but other times they just get moved by the squirrel. And that's how this seed gets dispersed and moved. But this seed starts out and becomes this in my yard, a really big oak tree. And that is the life cycle of a plant, starting out as a seed and developing into an adult plant. So I want to talk about the plant life cycle now. Let's just review a few things. So it starts out as a seed. The seed is planted in the soil. The seed will begin to germinate. It's called germination. The seed grows into a sprout. Then we see roots and stem. The roots come down, the stem goes up, and that stem will push its way up to the soil surface. Of course, every plant needs sunlight to continue growing. The seedling, and remember you guys saw my seedling. This is a small plant, a seedling. The seedling grows out of the ground. The stem and its leaves grow toward the sunlight, always trying to get the sunlight because that's how it's going to make its food. Remember photosynthesis? The leaves make food for the plant. And then we have pollination. If there is a flower on the plant grows flowers. The flowers are pollinated by bees, animals, or the wind, and the plant will make seeds. And then we know that we start all over again. It's a cycle, just goes over and over, the plant life cycle. So today, on your own, this is what you're going to work on. You're going to be going to Epic, and I'll have that link for you. You'll go to Epic, and you're going to read about the plant life cycles. You're going to review the vocabulary in the glossary at the end. This time, you don't have to worry about taking the quiz. If you want to take it, that's fine, but you don't have to this time because I'm going to give you a quiz over the brain pop that you watched at the end of our lesson. So as you read, think, how does each plant part help the plant grow? And once again, you'll just go to Epic for that, and I'll have that ready for you in your Epic assignments. Now, when we get to the Google Meet, here's what I want you to be prepared to do. For our Google Meet, I want you to take your science notebook, and I want you to go to the next clear page, wherever that is in your notebook, and I want you to draw a plant life cycle. Now, if you're having a hard time with that, then go back in my teaching video, and you can draw the one that you saw me share, but you're just going to share, you're going to draw a plant life cycle, and then when we get to the Google Meet, we'll share our drawings with each other. After the Google Meet, then I'll give you the plant life cycle quiz to take. And just remember, we always want to read our questions carefully, and we want to pick the best answer and answer that reflection question completely. So when it's time for the assessment after the Google Meet, you'll just go to your Google Classroom and your quiz will be there. And it will just be, I'll share another link with you, and it will look like this: Plant Life Cycle Quiz, Brain Pop Junior. Okay, so I look forward to seeing your plant life cycle drawings at the Google Meet. See you soon.